Playing second with Chipper Jones hitting third. Fred McGriff at first base cleaning up. And it's Javier Lopez, Jermaine Dye in right. Andrew Jones. What did he do last night? Oh, not much. Couple of home runs, 5 RBIs. Ties the record set by Gene Tennis with home runs in his first 2 career at-bats in the World Series. Then it's Terry Pendleton, his first postseason start. Jeff Blauser at short, batting ninth. The defense for the Yankees, Paul O'Neill in right field, has not committed an error in 222 consecutive games, including postseason. And that defense plays behind the left-hander, who is 2-0 in his World Series past. It happened against the Atlanta Braves. It's Jimmy Key.
Well, Jimmy Key has all 4 pitches. Actually, he has 5 pitches. He throws a 4-seam fastball, a 2-seam sinking fastball, a curve, a slider, a change. He will drop down low 3/4 occasionally on left-handed hitters with that breaking ball. Very crafty, very savvy veteran out there on the mound.
Has to be down in the strike zone. As everybody knows, ground balls don't go out of the ballpark. He'll try to get a lot of ground balls from the Atlanta Braves hitters, who have scored 44 runs in their last 4 games,
as opposed to the opponent's 2. Good production and very good pitching. The scouting report on Jimmy Key. What to look for tonight with the Yankee left-hander.
Yeah, that pretty much says it all. Pinpoint control, changes speeds on all of his pitches, and he makes up for the loss of velocity with the command of the breaking pitches, which is going to be important to get that breaking ball over for strike 1.
Mentioned Key has seen the Atlanta Braves. He won 2 games over the Atlanta Braves in the '92 World Series. 1 start, and he got the win in relief in Game 6, which clinched the series for Toronto. Marquise Grissom leads it off. First pitch, Game 2, is low for ball 1. Grissom last night had a couple of hits, and he'll try to get this Atlanta offense jump-started yet again. 2-0.
Well, Jimmy Key immediately starting working the outside part of the plate on Marquise Grissom. The Braves hitters have been very aggressive early in the game, late here in the postseason.
Now 3-0. Behind the plate tonight, it's Joe Girardi after Jim Leyritz had the start in Game 1. 3-1. Lemke waits on deck, then Chipper Jones here in the first inning for Atlanta. Right through it, strike 2.
And that was ball 4 that Marquise Grissom went after. Pitch out of the strike zone up.
Three-two pitch into left field, popped up for Tim Raines. 1 up, 1 down. So Jimmy Key does himself a favor by keeping Grissom off base. It's Terry Tata behind the plate tonight from the National League, with Welke, Ripley, Young on the bases. Jerry Davis down the left field foul line, and Jim Evans down the right field line. Evans worked the plate here last night in Game 1. Leadoff man is gone, and here is Mark Lemke. He was 2 out of 4 in Game 1 with an RBI, and he hits one down the line and left. It's a fair ball and extra bases. It ends up bouncing into the seats, interfered with, so a double with 1 out for Lemke here in the first inning, and there he is again.
Seems like we've been saying that a lot in postseason play with Mark Lemke. Left field umpire Jerry Davis calling fair ball, and then when the hands go up and the right hand over the left wrist, that's fan interference and a ground rule double.
So an extra base hit for the Braves, and now Chipper Jones steps in, as Jimmy Key will have to get Jones and McGriff to get out of this. Breaking ball back to Key. 2 out.
I think Chipper Jones is going to be a key hitter in this Atlanta lineup against Jimmy Key tonight. Against left-handed pitchers, when Chipper is batting from the right side of the plate, he opens up his stance a little bit more and cheats to pull the ball a little bit more to left field. Jimmy Key, if he's not careful with that breaking ball and gets it over the inside part of the plate, that's going to be a pitch Chipper can handle.
You know what it looked like to me? It looked like Chipper Jones was looking for the fastball, got the curveball, and swung anyway.
So Chipper is the second out here in the first inning, and the batter is McGriff. With Lemke at second, 2 out here in the first inning. Slowly but surely, Fred McGriff is getting back into a groove, and Bobby Cox would tell you that's just confidence. Nothing wrong mechanically, but McGriff needs confidence, and it's starting to build. Last night he had 2 hits in 5 at-bats, including a home run. 2-0 on a borderline pitch.
I think what the Braves would like Fred to do is to get up a little closer to the plate, especially against left-handed pitching, because that far away from the plate, he's vulnerable to breaking balls away, even with his long reach.
2-0 from Key. It's backing out of play. 2-1. Last night, Fred McGriff went deep down the line, literally. Came in the 5th inning in what was a blowout game here in Game 1, a 12-1 Atlanta victory. Lemke a 1-out double. He's at second with 2 out, and a 2-1 pitch coming to McGriff. Can't catch the corner. It's 3-1.
If Jimmy Key doesn't get pitches like that for strikes, it's going to be a long night for the Yankees. That pitch was a strike, looked like to me.
Instead, it's called a ball by Terry Tata, and the count 3-1. Dealing with the left-handed McGriff. That's into left center field. Slicing to range, but it falls in front. Lemke scores, and it's 1-0 Atlanta here in the first. So Key doesn't get the 2-1 pitch on the corner. Has to come to McGriff on 3-1. With the right-handed hitting Lopez on deck, and McGriff burns him for his 3rd hit of the series.
It's an entirely different at bat. If he gets that strike, it's 2-2. Then he can go to the bad breaking ball instead of having to come in with a good one.
Well, we've been wearing out that camera down in the Atlanta dugout.
And they've been wearing out those steps in front of it.
The reaction shot. And they have been reacting throughout postseason from the start. Now 1 on 2 out for Javi Lopez. He looks at the strike.
We haven't mentioned Jimmy Key also has a very good pickoff move to first base. Perhaps not as good as Andy Pettit's, but nonetheless a very good pickoff move, and I'm sure he's going to try to keep the Braves in check over there at first base.
Pettit was able to do that last night with runners at first. There's strike 2. However, Chipper Jones stole 3rd in that 6-run 3rd inning. Straightens him up, a ball and 2 strikes on Lopez.
That pitch inside, designed to go back outside.
To the right side, a base hit. Lopez pokes it through the right side, and it's 2 on 2 out here in the first inning. And Javi Lopez has had a remarkable postseason after winning the MVP award in the NLCS. He now has 2 hits in the World Series.
Well, we know Lopez likes to pull. He likes to get a ball from the middle of the plate in that he can really extend his arms and try to hook the ball to left field. But with 2 strikes, he becomes a much more defensive hitter. This pitch is way off the outside corner. Just uses his arms to reach out there and flip the ball through the hole in the right side.
So Lopez aboard, and now it could become a huge first inning for Atlanta. They already lead 1-0, have 2 on 2 out for Jermaine Dye. Ball 1 from Key, and it doesn't take much with a guy like Greg Maddux on the mound, who will pitch tonight for Atlanta. Even though it's just the first inning, a very important at bat here for Dye, and a big effort coming from Jimmy Key. 2-0. Maddux will make his 3rd World Series start in the bottom of this first inning. Little out in front, 2-1.
Took a little bit off a breaking ball right there. Took advantage of Dye's aggressiveness with the count in his favor. He's looking for a pitch to hit. I think he takes a little off that breaking ball, gets him out in front.
So a 2-ball, 1-strike count. 2-on-2 out first inning. 2-2.
You know, Don Zimmer has a term he uses when he talks about pitchers. They have a good feel for pitching. They know when to put a little extra on, when to take a little bit off. Jimmy Key is one of those pitchers that has a real good feel on the mound.
Into right field for O'Neill. So Key gives up 1. A run on 3 hits. They strand 2, and after a half inning in game 2, the Braves out in front by 1. Batting ninth at short, the Braves defense. Andrew Jones, a rookie in left. Jermaine Dye, a rookie in right, but you would never know it with the way they play. And behind Greg Maddux, 4-time Cy Young Award winner, tonight making his 3rd World Series start.
And we talked about the elements of an out as you look at his number 2nd in the National League in earned run average. Greg Maddux, with strike 1 this year, threw 68% of pitches over the plate. It's about 7 out of every 10 for strike 1. And in the process, his opposition only got 55 hits. He is remarkable. He gets ahead and expands the width of the plate. That's one of his secrets.
One thing to pay attention to is just how many times Greg Maddux will go with the fastball. It'll rarely look like a fastball because it won't be straight. But a little dip, a dive, a ride, little cutter, whatever it is.
One batter per 9 innings this year, the lowest rate in the major leagues. You're going to have to swing the bat. Hopefully that he'll make a mistake and get a pitch you can handle.
Strike 1 on Tim Raines leading off. Had 1 at bat last night, was 0 for 1. In the series now, he is 0 for 2. And the first out here in the first inning for New York. That'll bring in Wade Boggs and a chance for Wade to face Greg Maddux. On Jimmy.
That first bullet point says it all. Throws any pitch, any location, at any speed. We talked about it earlier. Not really a hard thrower, but great movement on all his pitches, and the last point rarely makes a mistake.
He'll get ground ball after ground ball, and 120 of 124 starts during the regular season for the Braves. He's got more ground balls than fly balls.
Here's Boggs. He takes the ball outside. 2 out of 4 in game 1 and drove in the only run of the night for New York. That caught the corner, 1-1. It's still only 5 out of 31 in the 1996 postseason. 2-1.
Wade's 2nd World Series with Wade Boggs. His last World Series against the New York Mets in 1986. And 2 months before that series, his mother was killed in a car accident.
2-1 to Boggs. Left side base hit. And Wade has come alive in the World Series.
As much of a surgeon as Maddux is on the mound, Boggs has been the same thing in the batter's box throughout his career. Braves giving him that hole up the middle. Blauser cheating over in the hole between 3rd and short. Boggs just rolls a base hit to the vacated area.
I think that's a great point, Bob. Wade Boggs is just as much of an artist with the bat as Maddux is with the ball.
And now 1 on, 1 out with Atlanta out in front. Bottom of the first inning for Bernie Williams. Into left field for Jones. So one pitch and Williams is gone. Now 0 for 4 in the World Series. And it's 1 on, 2 out. We move to Tino Martinez. Season 1996. No home runs. No RBIs. The Yankees as a team in the postseason hitting .257 with 14 home runs. Fastball, strike one to Martinez.
We use this phrase in the National League Championship Series when Greg was pitching. It is so interesting from the center field camera to watch Greg Maddux think with his fingers. Constant movement of the fingers. Fastball.
1-1.
It will be very apparent when Maddux is going to throw that circle change. You'll see him change the grip on the ball. Rather than use his index and middle finger, he will slide that index finger around, make the OK sign with his thumb, and throw the ball off his ring finger and middle finger.
2-1 on Martinez. Tino Martinez had a terrific 1996. His first year in New York after being traded here, filling in, taking over for Don Mattingly, hitting 25 home runs, driving in 117.
There's the changeup.
To the right side, good play McGriff. And the first inning is history. A one-out hit by Boggs, a man left, and after one in New York, we move to the second. Braves bat, they're out in front by 1. Well, a big round of boos for Andruw Jones as he leads it off here in the second inning. It was the Andruw Jones show here last night. What a debut he had in World Series play, going 3 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Of course, it's been talked about many times already, the youngest player to homer in World Series play, the 25th player ever to homer in his first World Series at bat. All at the age of 19. 1-1 from Jimmy Key.
This is that big breaking ball we talked about at the top of the show. Big overhand curveball. He'll throw that at different speeds.
1-1 on Andruw Jones, and he's hit. They'll love it here at Yankee Stadium. Jones is on, hit by the pitch. Unintentional.
No way in a 1-0 ball game you're going to put the leadoff runner on. Jimmy Key trying to come into Andruw Jones. It looked like it hit his back leg. Rather artistic, athletic move, just getting out of the way of the ball, but the ball, he got his front leg out of the way, but it plunked him on the back leg. He's all right.
And he's on at first with nobody out. So a hit batsman to start the inning. And now Terry Pendleton making his first postseason start this season. Pretty close.
That's that good move from Jimmy Key. Very deceptive. He gives you a lot of different looks. He'll snap a throw over there. He'll give you the high leg kick. Back safely that time.
That's why if you elect to run, I think the option against Key would be to hit and run instead of a straight steal, because his move's going to keep the runner closer to first.
Pendleton at the plate. A late break throw behind the runners, back in time.
They hit and ran on the first pitch. The Yankees sniffed it out and pitched out. Look at Joe Girardi, and now the throw's in time. But we talked about the athleticism of Andruw Jones. He goes back in, the right hand to the outside of the bag, safe.
I think Tino Martinez thought Jones had continued on to second base from his reaction. He looked like he was ready to start a rundown as Jones snuck back into first base.
So now 1 on with nobody out, as the Yankees guessed correctly. Girardi threw behind the runner, and the only one not aware of where Andruw Jones was Tino Martinez. It's 2-0 now on Pendleton. See if they start the runner again. Now 2-1.
See, Jimmy Key varies his moves not only to first base but to home plate. The last time he freezes Jones by giving the high leg kick, hesitating, and then going home.
Key behind on the count with Pendleton at the plate. 2-1. To the right side of the infield for Martinez. 1 out. So Pendleton retired, still hitless in this postseason, now 0 for 8. And it's 1 on 1 out for the number 9 hitter, Jeff Blauser.
Boy, the way Jimmy Key's gone about delivering pitches to the plate with Andruw Jones at first base could be a clinic film for a left-handed pitcher.
Really could, Bob.
Went with the high leg kick on the pitch you talked about. The last pitch there to Pendleton went with the slide step. Impossible to get any kind of read on him at first base.
To the right side, maybe 2. 4, 6, 3. Got them both. Inning over. A hit batsman. Jimmy Key gets around it. Bottom of the second. Yankees back. Trail by 1. The Braves out in front by 1. It will be Fielder, O'Neill, and Duncan against Greg Maddux, who allowed a first inning hit to Wade Boggs. Cecil is sawed off. 1 out. We like to call this Fox's pitch by pitch. Take us through the stylings of Greg Maddux.
Well, if a hitter could only see this, there you see the index and middle finger from Greg Maddux on a cut fastball inside to a left-handed hitter. Comes back on the next pitch with the changeup. The index finger's off the ball. You see the middle finger, the ring finger, and the pinky slide up on the side of the baseball for the changeup.
That's the pitch where he got Tino Martinez to end the first on the ground ball to first. 1 out, nobody on for O'Neill. He looks at the ball. While O'Neill only hitting .179 in the postseason, 0 for 2 last night. Caught the corner, 1-1. Well, let's see where that person is sitting. I think in right field. They're in a good spot. Yep. It's in fair territory.
It's definitely in Paul O'Neill's range if he gets a hold of one.
He hit 19 during the regular season down the right field line. It's not gone, but it's trouble. O'Neill has the bad hamstring. He limps into second base with a 1-out double.
And the people up in right field are trying to applaud, but they've got signs up there. They can't applaud. This is in that direction. He doesn't hit it well, but well enough to open the second inning with a double.
Paul O'Neill never had great speed, but with that bad hamstring, he's just not really able to extend. You can see him controlling his jog into second base.
So the tying run at second with a 1 out here in the second for Mariano Duncan or Joe Girardi. Here's Duncan 0 for 3 last night.
You may see Duncan take a shot at the right side to try to get O'Neill to third. He's very good at doing this.
There it is to the right side. Now the race to the bag, won by Maddux, 2 out.
That was an intentional at-bat sacrifice. Even though he's going to get charged with an at-bat, he is giving himself up to move the runner from second to third. And now with Joe Girardi up, you may think squeeze because Joe Torre and Don Zimmer, or I should say it's 2 outs. That's right. I beg your pardon. Made a mistake. Thought it was 1.
So there are 2.
Hang with him.
The runner at third. And here is Girardi. Going to take a hit or something out of the ordinary. Right down the middle, strike one.
Well, Chipper Jones is thinking along with you, though, Tim. He's playing in at the edge of the grass. Joe Girardi has great speed for a catcher. Taking away that bunt for a base hit. Try to get a cheap RBI here.
Girardi drove in 45 during the regular season. Has not driven in a run in the postseason yet. Back to Maddox. Gregg able to get around the one-out double. It's still 1-0 Atlanta through 2. We'll be back to Yankee Stadium after this from your local Fox station. By a run as they take the field here in the third inning. Marquise Grissom, top of the order, will lead it off. What does he do? Outfield hits by direction. Pretty even straight across. Tough to defense. And the Yankees in their outfield deep and straight away. Breaking ball is down and in. Ball 1 to Grissom. Marquise ran the count full back in the first inning and then fly to left. Lemke followed with a double. He scored on a 2-out RBI hit by McGriff. 2-0.
You saw those 64 hits to right field. When you use the other part of the field, the opposite field, you're going to hit for a higher average. Very few pull hitters hit for a high average.
Now a strike in the count 2-1. By far the best season for Grissom with 207 hits.
Right.
The first Brave to pick up over 200 hits since Gar did it back in '74. That's down the right field line in trouble. O'Neill over to get it, and Grissom has a leadoff double. So Marquise Grissom has the 4th hit of the night for Atlanta. Their second double. And now Jimmy Key will try to get around it with Lemke, Jones, and McGriff coming up.
When you use the other part of the field, the opposite field, you become less predictable as a hitter. You spread the outfield out. You're tough to defend against. Paul O'Neill playing the carom. And a double for Marquise Grissom.
Now Lemke, who doubled his first time.
Well, if he doesn't sacrifice, he's going to take a shot to the right side as well.
Does drop down a perfect bunt right side. Good play by Key. And the sacrifice is good. 1-4. The Braves playing small ball here in the third inning with Maddox on the mound for Atlanta. Doesn't take much to feel comfortable with the 4-time Cy Young Award winner on the mound.
They've gone from big ball to little ball in 24 hours.
Here's Chipper Jones. He bounced back to Key his first time. And that same defense the Yankees put on here last night. Infield in except for the shortstop Jeter. That caught the inside corner for strike 1.
And what Joe Torre did last night, he had 3 positions in at third, second, and first, and then with 2 strikes, he brought Derek Jeter in. But Jeter right now is back.
Ball and a strike on Chipper Jones, who has driven in 9 in the '96 postseason. Jimmy Key trying to get around a leadoff double by Grissom. He's at third after the bunt by Lemke. Big breaking ball, strike 2.
That's a pitch Jimmy Key is going to have to keep on the outside part of the plate on Chipper Jones. You can see his approach to the ball. Open stance and opens up that front side, looking for a pitch for the middle end. Wants to pull that ball to left field. Jimmy Key's going to have to keep it on the outside part of the plate.
Runner at third, 1 out. Wouldn't bite. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Three and 2 now with McGriff on deck. Chipper Jones 1 out of 5 with 3 RBIs so far in this World Series. Barely missed for ball 4. And the first walk issued by Key makes it first and third, 1 out for McGriff.
Well, I'm sure if we asked Terry Tata, he'd say this pitch was up. Indicating once again the difference between the National League umpires and the American League umpires. It's a very subtle difference, but the top of the strike zone for the American League umps is a little bit higher. Terry Tata won't go that high.
And now it's first and third, one out for McGriff, who is 3 out of 6 in this series so far. He's already driven in a run tonight. Perfect pitch, strike one.
There you see the scouting report on Terry Tata. I had the opportunity to work in front of Terry for 9 years. I believe that he will give the pitcher pitches if he proves he can consistently hit his spots. And he's a very level-headed umpire. He'll let you argue your point.
Won't give the corner to Key there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Unless you turn around.
Unless you turn around or say one of those magic words. 24 years in the National League. One of the better umpires in the league.
A leadoff double, then a bunt, then a walk. And a 1-1 count on McGriff. Strike 2. In our Fox box, top left-hand corner of your screen, runners on at first and third. 1-0 Atlanta, and Jimmy Key is trying to keep it right there. He had 2 strikes on Chipper Jones. He walked him. He has 2 strikes on Fred McGriff. Big pitch coming right here. And a check on Jones. One and 2 on McGriff. Into center field. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Grissom scores, and McGriff has driven in both runs tonight off the left-hander Key.
Jimmy Key tried to drop down on Fred McGriff, and when a pitcher does that, he tries to make a hitter give with the front side. But Fred McGriff doesn't give. Hammers one back through the middle.
Double play situation. Jimmy Key got a ball up in the zone when he was trying to keep it down and get a ground ball.
And McGriff now 2 for 2 with 2 driven in, 2 on 1 out for Javi Lopez. That's trying to get out of play, and it will for strike 1. So last night Andy Pettitte took the ball for the Yankees, a left-hander. McGriff drove in a run off Pettitte with an RBI single. Tonight it's a left-hander Jimmy Key, and McGriff has had no problems with Key. 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. 2 on 1 out and a 1 ball 1 strike count on Lopez.
Fred McGriff, the only left-hander in the Atlanta lineup, and he's the guy who has driven in both runs.
Runners aboard. Chipper Jones and McGriff for Javier Lopez. Key is trying to nibble, not getting the corners, and in the process falling behind. And he's 2-1 on Javier Lopez. A little low. It's 3-1. When you're a pitcher like Key and you can't hit those spots and you fall behind and you have to come to these hitters, you're in for a long night. And he's 3-1 on Lopez. He's got to come to him. Runners are going. Lopez back to Key. Out at second. got them both. What a play by Key. The runners were going, and they still turned the double play. Started by the left-hander Key. That ends a long third inning for Jimmy. He heads back to the dugout. The Braves at a run up by 2.
Jimmy Key and Mariano Duncan, the second baseman. Watch the throw from Key, third base.
Now Jeter, the number 9 hitter, leads it off and takes a strike from Maddox. That saved at least 1 run. The runners were going. That ball was headed for center field. Jimmy Key, who is always in good fielding position, stabbed it, and the 1-4-3 double play ends the top of the third. Jeter hits it foul past Jose Cardinal, and the count 0-2. Derek Jeter last night in the leadoff spot was 0 for 3 with a run scored. Off the corner, 1-2.
That was an intentional ball thrown by Greg Maddux. He intentionally threw the ball off the plate away.
Again, foul to the right side. You know, a lot was made during the regular season on the difference with Greg Maddux with Eddie Perez behind the plate as opposed to Javier Lopez. Maddox was 10-5 with an ERA of 1.89 with Eddie Perez back there. 5-6 during the regular season with an ERA of 3.44 with Lopez. But Jeter is hit on the hand, and you hope he's all right.
Well, Maddox will throw a couple of different fastballs. We've seen the sinker that he uses on the outside corner to right-handers, or uses down in the strike zone when he wants a swinging ground ball. When he wants to run the pitch up and in on a right-hander, he'll throw a tailing fastball. Appeared to catch Jeter right on the back of the left hand. 91 miles an hour on that last pitch. It's a completely different fastball than he normally throws. It runs in and not down.
Hey, remember Jimmy Key hitting Andrew Jones after the 2 home runs last night. We didn't think it was intentional at the time. Didn't think that this is intentional, because if this were intentional, it would have been done earlier in the count. But look how close to the plate Jeter is. With 2 strikes, he attacks the outside part of the plate. Because he was inside, or because he was on top of the plate, that ball plucked him.
You can actually hear the ball hit the back of the left hand of Jeter, and he is definitely still in some pain.
Luckily, it is not his top hand as a hitter or his throwing hand as a thrower. Gene Monahan, the trainer, along with Joe Torre, out seeing how it is.
They'll check the mobility in that wrist. They'll have him squeeze Gene Monahan's hand to see if there's any strength in the hand. Looks like Jeter wants to stay in the ball game.
Well, one thing we know he can still do is run.
Right.
I think the jury's still out as to whether he will stay in this game past this 3rd inning.
Well, they can probably field also. He may not be tested until his next at bat.
Worried, I would imagine Braves fans worried when Maddox made the start in Game 6 with Javier Lopez behind the plate. But Maddox ends up going 7 2/3 innings allowing only 1 run on 6 hits. He was fantastic. Yankees trail by 2, have 1 on, nobody out, and Raines to McGriff. 3-6-1, but too late on the relay, and it's 1 on, 1 out. So the force out off the bat of Raines. 3-6.
He made the throw. First position made for a lefty. Pretty good idea of why with that throw by McGriff. That's a much tougher play for a left-handed thrower, and a good takeout slide by Derek Jeter.
There's that spray you love so much, Tim.
I love it. Ethyl chloride.
Doris chloride sister, isn't it?
It is. Polly and Esther, right?
One on
twins.
1 on, 1 out for Boggs. And a check on Raines, who stole 10 bases, was 10 out of 11 during the regular season, but was bothered with a bad hamstring during much of 1996. Now, you talk about Eddie Perez behind the plate with Maddox. You can say what you want about how the numbers bear out, but there's no doubt that Greg Maddux is at least more comfortable or gets into a better flow with Perez behind the plate. He may need to guide Javier Lopez a little more.
You know, Javier Lopez will say that, as a matter of fact. He says that Eddie Perez perhaps will call a little better game than he does. I think the distinction between Perez and Lopez, Perez is a catcher that hits, Lopez is a hitter that catches.
Raines is running, and a great jump, is out nonetheless. Tim Raines had a decent jump, and Javier Lopez guns him down for the second out here in the 3rd inning.
Qualifier. He's a hitter that catches, that can throw, as you see.
Great footwork there by Lopez to get his body squared up to second base. Good strong throw, good pitch to handle. It's the throw right on the money for Mark Lemke.
Now Boggs looks at 1 inside, 1-1. You could see it was a good jump by Raines, but he got about 3/4 of the way down there and looked like he hit a wall. And the perfect throw by Javier Lopez makes it 2 out, nobody on. Off the end of the bat for strike 2 on Boggs.
We talked about this during the NLCS. The biggest thing with a pitcher working with a catcher is confidence and rhythm. If you have confidence that the catcher's going to call the right pitches, you're not going to shake him off as often. You're going to work faster. Maddox likes to work fast.
Jeter led off. He was hit by a pitch. Then the force out off the bat of Raines. He's out stealing. The 1-2 to Boggs. You don't see Wade Boggs take that kind of a swing against many pitchers. Maddox is on tonight. We'll keep an eye on Jeter. 4th inning, 2-0 Atlanta. For the 4th inning, it's 2-0 Atlanta. Taping up his wrist, his left wrist, after being hit by a Greg Maddux fastball, leading off in the bottom of the 3rd.
Well, they do that immediately in an attempt to keep the swelling down, at least until after the game, when they can get an ice bag on there and get a further report from the medical staff.
Here is Jermaine Dye. It'll be Dye, Andrew Jones, and Terry Pendleton. Dye fly to right with a couple on back in the 1st inning. Good pitch over the outside corner, 1-1. Jermaine Dye leading off. Into left field, a base hit. Waited just enough, and Dye is on. Now Raines kicks it. Dye to second. He's safe as Duncan can't handle the throw. It's a single E7 on Tim Raines.
Nice piece of hitting by Jermaine Dye to extend his swing there. Keep the bat in the strike zone for a long time. Routine play for Raines, not able to come up with it. It's a short hop throw to Duncan that he can't handle. All kinds of mistakes on that play.
That's a tough play for Mariano Duncan, that in-between hop. You have to give with a hop like that, and if you give too much, you're off the bag.
So a runner at second, nobody out, and Andrew Jones shows bunt. So Tim Raines has been a big part of this game already. Thrown out trying to steal. Tim, you talked about it last night. The Yankees would come into this World Series with the Braves and maybe play more of a National League style of ball than the Atlanta Braves do. Joe Torre liking to put the hit and run on, steal bases.
Right.
Couldn't do it last night after falling way behind. And tonight, when they run Raines to try to get into scoring position for Boggs and Williams, he's thrown out. Now the error, and a chance for the Braves to add to their 2-0 fourth inning lead. 1 ball, 1 strike on Andrew Jones. Strike 2.
I've got a feeling Jones is going to see that changeup out of the strike zone low and away again.
He is definitely shooting for the strikeout. Runner at second, nobody out. There it is, laid off. 2-2.
Well, it's tough to have an extensive book on a young player like Andrew Jones, but the general feeling is the softer you throw it, the better luck you're going to have. Saw last night he hit a good fastball. He hit a hard slider that hung in the zone.
2-2. That'll get out of play.
Bobby Cox telling us before the game something we did not know, saying that Andrew Jones had terrific power to right center field. And if Jimmy Key makes that outside corner pitch, which he is prone to do, he said don't be surprised to see Jones take him out to right.
Runner at second, nobody out. To the left side. Dye stays put. Jones is out. And there's the first test for Derek Jeter with the bad wrist. Jones did not advance the runner. Tomorrow, the New York Yankees travel to Atlanta to battle the defending champion Braves in a World Series showdown. It's Game 3 of the World Series tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on Fox. It will be David Cone for the Yankees and Tom Glavine for the Atlanta Braves. Dye still at second, 1 out, and Pendleton strike 1. Still looking for his first hit since the curtain came down on the regular season. One and one. Still searching for that World Series title all those years with Atlanta. All those years in St. Louis getting to the World Series. And of course when the Braves won it last year over Cleveland, it was with the Marlins. Crowd wanted the call. They're not going to get it. 2-1.
Pendleton with the Cardinals in 1985. Kansas City came back to win it. The World Series, that is. That ball just off the plate. Then the Cardinals again against the Twins in 87. And the Braves in 91 and 92.
2 balls and a strike. That caught the corner. Borderline pitch, 2-2.
Well, we may have just reached the point where Terry Tata figures that Jimmy Key's hitting the glove pretty consistently. This pitch is almost exactly in the same location as the one before.
Crowd wants a strikeout on 2-2. Pendleton stays alive.
You notice how Joe Girardi sets up. We mentioned the last inning comparing Javier Lopez and Eddie Perez. Joe Girardi is a catcher that hits. He has the latest setup of probably any catcher in either league with a runner on at second base. And the reason a catcher does that, sets up late, is so the guy at second doesn't give location. Watch Girardi.
Setting up outside, and Pendleton grounds to second. 2 hopper, 2 out. Well, tonight the MetLife Blimps, Snoopy 1 is cruising the skies above Yankee Stadium. MetLife Blimps are constantly traveling, covering major sporting events throughout the U.S. and Canada. So our thanks to MetLife for providing us the aerial views from Snoopy 1. Beautiful night here at Yankee Stadium. There was a lot of concern coming into New York start of the weekend. When would we get these 2 games in? Missed on Saturday night, played here last night and again here tonight. Here's Blauser, runner at third, 2 out, and he takes ball 1 as he shows a bunt. Jeff bounced into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Key trying to keep it a 2-run game. 2-0 on Blauser.
Jimmy Key, a pitcher for Bobby Cox and the Toronto Blue Jays back in 1985.
Runner at third, 2 out, and now 3-0 on Blauser. With a much more dangerous Marquise Grissom waiting on deck.
It's funny, Bobby Cox was fired from the Atlanta Braves before Joe Torre took over in 1982. And then he quit the Toronto Blue Jays after the '85 season, went back to Atlanta.
On 4 straight, Blauser draws a 2-out walk. Second walk issued by Key, and it's first and third, 2 out for Grissom.
Center fielder, Marcus Grissom.
Coming up in the 9th inning, Tim, Bob, and I will award today's Chevrolet Player of the Game. Jimmy Key had a runner at second, nobody out. Now it's first and third, 2 out. No damage done. There's a strike, and you're right, Bob. More and more you can see Key getting that outside corner from Terry Tata.
Well, that was my experience, as I said, catching in front of Terry Tata. If your pitcher proved throughout the early part of the ball game that he could hit spots consistently, he was more apt to give you those pitches a little bit off the corner.
Not that far.
Not that far.
1 ball, 1 strike.
This is that deceptive move of Jimmy Key. Never know whether you're going home or to first. Jeff Blauser not able to get any jump off the bag at first base whatsoever.
A ball and a strike on Grissom, reaching for it. Duncan, inning over. Great work by Key. Had a runner at second, nobody out. The Braves do not score. Bottom of the 4th. Atlanta up by 2. Lice back on there. You have to hope he is all right. Probable rookie of the year in the American League. And you only say probable to be nice to the other guys. He's going to win it. Yankees trying to get it going. Bernie Williams, Tino Martinez, and Cecil Fielder against Greg Maddux. 4th inning, down by 2, and a ball low to Bernie, who is 0 for 4 in the series so far. Martinez on deck. Out in front, strike 1.
Good change up there from Maddux. You know, one thing that sets Greg Maddux apart from other pitchers in baseball is he doesn't worry about his mechanics. His mechanics are so constant and so locked in that he can really concentrate on what he wants to do to the hitters and doesn't have to worry about where are my hands, where are my feet.
Ripped right at McGriff. And a bad break for Bernie Williams and the Yankees here in the 4th inning. Hardest hit ball of the night, and it's the first out here in the 4th. Martinez breaks his bat. It heads into the seats. He's the second out of the inning, but forget about the out. The broken bat ended up in the seats, and evidently everybody's all right. That is about as dangerous as it gets.
Tino Martinez really sawed off by that cut fastball inside. Joe Torre telling us before the game that he has seen more bats seem to explode this year. Of course, you hit it off the trademark. That's what's supposed to happen.
Sandwich. Right.
Very dangerous as that jagged edge of the bat headed into the seats, but came down without hitting anybody or hurting anybody seriously. Cecil grounds to short. Blauser takes his time, and the Yankees go in order in the fourth. Maddox in control after 4. Atlanta out in front by 2. Jimmy Key is certainly doing his part. Derek Jeter so far so good after being hit on the left wrist by a pitch from Maddox in the 3rd inning. Key back to work. Lemke leads it off. Breaking ball grounded up the middle for a leadoff base hit. And Lemke is 2 for 2.
He is everywhere. And I mean everywhere in the postseason. He's always on base. He's had 2 sacrifices in 2 games. Almost every hit he has gotten in postseason. And we've done all the, for the most part, all the Atlanta Braves games. All of them have been up. That was a high-hanging curveball.
Here's Chipper Jones, 0 for 1 with a walk. Leadoff man is on, and Jones takes the ball. Jimmy Key is doing what he can. He has allowed 2 runs on 7 hits now. The Braves have stranded 5. Key had a runner, Jermaine Dye, at second with nobody out in the 4th inning. Got around it. Now we'll try to get around a leadoff hit by Lemke. He's behind in the count, 2-0 to Chipper Jones. Runner at first, nobody out. That's down the right field line, in trouble. Into the corner for extra bases. Lemke digs for 3rd. They'll hold him there. It's a double, and it's 2nd and 3rd. Nobody out here in the 5th.
Well, what a piece of hitting by Chipper Jones. The Braves' approach against Jimmy Key so far has been perfect. Marquise Grissom a double down the right field line. Jones a double down the right field line. Lopez a single to right field. And both of McGriff's hits have been the other way.
So a single and a double to start the 5th inning, and now McGriff, who is 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, the only 2 tonight, digs in. Fred McGriff so far has been able to figure out Jimmy Key, and here's what he likes.
Well, like a lot of left-handed power hitters, down and in and up and out over the plate.
A 1-0 pitch on the outside corner for strike 1. Lemke got it started with a single, then Chipper Jones the double for his first hit of the night. McGriff is looking for his 3rd. Strike 2 on McGriff. Key has had 2 strikes on McGriff in the first 2 at-bats, but has not been able to put him away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this hurts. Driving that ball right down off the inside of that right ankle. That pain does not go away anytime soon. I don't care how long you walk around that batter's box. That's going to stay with you for a long time.
Baseball pedicure.
That's it.
And McGriff in the hole, 1 and 2. just got a piece.
Remember the last hit McGriff got, as you see Javier Lopez on deck. Jimmy Key dropped down on McGriff. He threw the fastball. The last time he dropped down and threw the breaking ball low and away.
I wouldn't be surprised if Key can get McGriff, but they would then walk Lopez and pitch to the rookie Jermaine Dye. It's second and third, nobody out, and McGriff wants time.
Sure makes sense.
Well, Joe Girardi went through a series of signs there, and Jimmy Key is using his glove to either add or subtract to whatever signal Joe Girardi calls, and there was some confusion there. And wisely, Joe Girardi told him to step off. Let's start over again.
He wiped twice on his pants then.
Big breaking ball and the high drive into right. O'Neill in the corner to get it. Lemke tags, he'll score. Chipper Jones tags and goes to third, and it's 3-0 Atlanta. So again, Key is unable to put Fred McGriff away, and McGriff has all 3 Atlanta RBIs tonight.
Yeah, Joe, you're not going to put him away with that high curveball. A real mistake by Jimmy Key, staying up in the zone, and McGriff lifts it to right, not only to score a run, but to move Jones to third.
You can see that little hesitation there as his front foot came down. He just hesitated for just a second. Get that bat into the strike zone.
Now with the infield in, they will pitch to Javi Lopez. The score 3-0 Atlanta, 5th inning, and a runner at third, 1 out. Lopez 1 out of 2. Breaking ball to Jeter, knocks it down, looks at the runner, gets his man, 2 out. And a good play by the 22-year-old Derek Jeter.
When you're shallow, you can afford to knock it down. When you're deep, you can't afford it, especially from the left side of the infield. Jeter knocks it down, looks at third, picks it up, and throws him out. Good play.
He's really just trying to smother this ball. He gets his glove on it and pulls his glove up into his midsection to make sure he's got that ball in there somewhere. He knew he had plenty of time to get Lopez at first.
Now it's Jermaine Dye with a runner at third, 2 out. 1 run home and a 3-0 Atlanta lead. Breaking ball, fly to right. So all things considered, Jimmy Key gets out of it with only 1 run crossing the plate. And McGriff has had a huge night. He's driven in all 3, and Atlanta's up 3-0. The commissioner. He is in attendance here tonight. Braves out in front by 3. 6th inning and 1 ball. And now 2 ball. No strike count on Andrew Jones leading off. Into center field, well hit. Bernie Williams back at the wall for the out. Andrew used all of left center field for the first out here in the 6th inning.
So far and so high, Jimmy Key waiting to exhale.
Fans anticipating another one of those Bernie Williams climb the wall catches, but didn't have to do it this time. Woo. Thank you.
I caught that, by the way.
I thought you would.
Pendleton. Reaching off the end of the bat, long run, Jeter. Derek Jeter drops it. Pendleton heads to second as the ball gets away, and he's there with 1 out. Jeter was there, and he simply dropped it.
I wonder if that's not a result of that hit by pitch on the left forearm. Perhaps not enable him to close that glove around the pop-up. He was there in time. He's got a bead on it right here. Ball just hits in the middle of the glove and pops out.
I think when he went down, he certainly, it looked like he hurt that wrist again, but that is certainly a valid point. It's possible that he could not close the glove around the ball. Ball, however, hitting the heel of the glove, didn't hit the webbing. Had it hit the webbing and it pops out, and that certainly would have been valid.
So now Pendleton at second. It's ruled a double. Derek Jeter took care of the toughest part. That was getting there.
Yeah.
Had a great jump on that ball, and then in and out of his glove for a double. No error. And for Pendleton, his first hit in 10 postseason at bats in '96. Here's Blauser, 0 for 1 with a walk. Runner at second, 1 out. That's strike 2.
Guys, I think the real test with Derek Jeter, and he leads off the next inning, will be whether he can swing the bat or not. Obviously, he can run. He's shown that he could field, even though possibly, as Bob suggested, he may not have been able to squeeze the glove then. We'll certainly see if he could swing the bat.
0-2 on Blauser. Key let one go, 1-2. Grissom on deck. He's 1 out of 3 tonight. But it's Key and Blauser now. Breaking ball, ground ball to short. Jeter makes the play, 2 out. Good base running by Pendleton. He had the play in front of him, and he went second to third on that little ground ball to Jeter. And he's at third with 2 out.
A lot of times when you're running the bases, it's almost like pulling from a stop sign. You have to determine the speed of the car coming to pull across, and often base runners have to determine the speed of the balls that are hit. That ball wasn't hit that hard, and that allowed Pendleton to go to third, and it was a good base running play.
Now he's there with 2 out for Grissom. And Marquise looks at ball 1 outside. Grissom has a hit tonight, a double and a run scored. Into center field, falling in a hurry, a base hit. In to score is Pendleton, and it's 4-0 Atlanta here in the 6th.
Second base.
Well, another ball hit the opposite way, although it's straight up the middle. That is not Marquise Grissom's pull field. Turf still a little soggy out there in center as Bernie Williams loses his footing, but shows great athleticism to get back up and stop that ball.
Williams had no chance to get to that ball, slip or no slip. And now Mel Stottlemyre will trot out and talk to Key as action starts for the Yankees in their bullpen.
When you think about last night's game, a 12-1 game featuring a lot of home runs and a lot of firepower by the Braves, this is a totally different offense tonight. Sacrifice fly by Fred McGriff, a sacrifice by Mark Lemke, a 2-out hit by Marquise Grissom.
The frustrating part for any Yankee pitcher has got to be the margin for error. There is so little margin for error when you're facing a team that has the pitching of Atlanta. You fall behind.
Right.
Graham Lloyd and David Weathers getting ready for the Yankees in their bullpen. But you fall behind, and I would imagine you constantly feel like you're fighting uphill, especially on a night when you're facing Greg Maddux, who so far has allowed no runs on only 2 hits. Here's Lemke, 2 for 2 plus a sacrifice bunt. A couple of runs scored. Key showing that good move to Marquise Grissom.
The base stealers have only stolen 2 bases in Jimmy Key's last 41 starts coming into tonight's action, so he has been pretty successful at shutting down the opposition's running game.
Another look to first.
Gives you so many different moves to first base as well as moves to home plate. A lot of left-handed pitchers will have one move that they'll use at first base if they're trying to pick off, and another delivery that they'll use to go home.
It's ball 1 to Lemke. Jimmy Key, who was outstanding in Game 3 of the American League Championship Series. 8 innings, 3 hits in the Yankee victory. Todd Zeile hit a 2-run home run for the only blemish on his record. Now it's 2-0 on Lemke. So Torrey getting his first crack at the World Series, and after last night's 12-1 Atlanta win, the night looks a lot better. I bet he doesn't feel a lot better. It's 2-1 now on Lemke.
Well, the first two deliveries to Lemke, Jimmy Key went with the slide step and missed low and away with both pitches. That time he went with his regular high leg kick and threw the ball over the plate. A lot of times out of the slide step, left-handers have a tendency to rush the ball to home plate and not finish their delivery, consequently missing low and away.
Breaking ball drops low, and it's 3-1 on Lemke. Chipper Jones, much more of a power threat waiting on deck.
Sometimes the threat of the stolen base is more important than the stolen base.
1 on, 2 out. That's into right field for O'Neill. Ball is there, and the Braves get 1. 1 run, 2 hits. They leave a man. They've stranded 7. Bottom of the 6th inning. They have to get to work. Down by 4.
Come in and out of the clubhouse 2 different times with head trainer Gene Monahan. Now, they do not have x-ray machines in the clubhouse, so they haven't taken pictures. He's got a bruised left wrist, and he's going to lead off the bottom of this inning.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Here he is. Second at bat of the night. First time up, hit by a pitch. Now looks at ball 1. And this crowd here in the Bronx trying to help the Yankees get it.
Left wrist is all right. Fastball away. He went the other way.
And now back to the top of the lineup. Here is Tim Raines. Jeter will stop at second. And the first 2 are on for the Yankees here in the 6th.
Bat in this ball game, but this time he comes through with a solid knock just over Jeff Blauser.
Jeter went the other way. Raines goes the other way. And it's 2 on, nobody out for Wade Boggs. Left side. Double play ball. Lemke flips out over to first. Got them both. 4-6-3. And after the first 2 reach, Boggs grounds into a big double play.
The first time in this game that the Yankees have had 2 base runners in the same inning. And now it's 1. Takeout slide by Raines is late. Nice pivot by Blauser.
Wrong time for the Yankees with Bernie Williams coming up. Hitless in this series. Out in front for strike one. Leadoff hit by Jeter, then a base hit by Raines for the double play ball. And it's Jeter at third with 2 out. Kept it low and away, strike 2.
Normally with 2 strikes on a left-hander, Maddox likes to throw that sinker right in underneath the lefty's hands and bring it back over the inside corner.
Right on the belt.
Kathy Maddox sweating through the 6th inning with Greg, although as we said in the NLCS, Greg never looks like he breaks a sweat. Gives up back-to-back hits to start the inning, gets the double play ball. Yankees need a hit. They ask for it from Bernie Williams. 1-2.
That pitch that Bob referred to is a tailing fastball that starts in off the plate. And that's his strikeout pitch to left-handed batters. When the arms go up, that ball's on the corner. A lot of umpires ring them up.
Who's pitching? Who's watching? Maddox once more time.
Speaking of waiting to exhale, Kathy Maddox doing that.
Runner at third with 2 out. Do it again. The count stays 1-2 on Williams. Into the double play. One and 2 on Williams. 2-2.
He tried.
That's actually that little cut fastball. He's got it set up now to throw the sinker in the same location. The sinker will come back over the plate. That pitch held line, stayed inside.
Bernie Williams trying to put the Yankees on the board here in the 6th. Full count.
I think he was actually setting him up for that tailing fastball inside with that rider inside. It just got away from him a bit. High and out over the plate.
A full count on Bernie Williams. To the right side for Lemke. Maddox gets around the back-to-back hits to start the inning. It's still 4-0 Atlanta. Back to the stadium after this from your local Fox station. Life blimp. We go into today rather than searching the skies for the Red Baron. Snoopy is enjoying the World Series in game number 2. It's Graham Lloyd into the game for the Yankees. The numbers during the 1996 regular season, which was split between Milwaukee and the Yankees, and Graham Lloyd a big part of the controversy that swirled around the trades made late in the year by general manager Bob Watson and the Milwaukee Brewers. Chipper Jones leads it off. It's 2-0.
Well, part of the reason was the first pitch that Graham Lloyd threw, a big curveball that never really bit. It just stayed way up and away from the right-handed hitter. That's his best pitch. The bone spurs in his elbow prevent him from throwing it like he used to.
Fastball is in. It's 2-1.
Pat Listach, a shortstop, arrived in New York with a broken foot Gerald Williams going to the Milwaukee Brewers along with Bob Whitman, a pitcher. The Yankees claimed that they had received damaged goods. However, in baseball today, when a trade is made, it's caveat emptor, buyer beware. The Milwaukee Brewers, partly because they were owned by Bud Selig, the de facto commissioner.
Chipper Jones comes up empty. He's the first out here in the 7th inning.
Sent Ricky Bonas as a bonus to the New York Yankees. But arbitration is pending and should be settled next month.
Here's our Aflac trivia question. Who is the only player with fewer than 100 career home runs who hit 6 home runs in the World Series? Tim, you ought to nail that one.
I should. See you.
That's pretty tough there. That's putting some pressure on.
1 out,
Sure
nobody
is.
on, and strike 1 on McGriff.
Is that a hint? Nails?
It's a hit.
Is that a hint for Lenny Dykstra?
We can't give you the answer until next half inning. Here's McGriff, 1 out, nobody on. McGriff, the offensive star of the game for the Atlanta Braves. He drove in the first 3 Atlanta runs tonight. The other RBI belongs to Grissom. Knocked one in with 2 out in the 6th. Major League record 15 postseason RBIs here in 1996. Lloyd has struck out the first 2. So much for bone spurs and so much for damaged goods. 2 out.
Well, you get all those spurs and bone chips lined up just right, and you will throw a good breaking ball. Big sweeping curve.
And after striking out Chipper Jones and then Fred McGriff, he hands off to Joe Torre. Weather's coming in. It's 4-0 Atlanta in the 7th.
Martinez, Jeff Nelson, Joe Girardi, Mariano Duncan, Cecil Fielder, Charlie Hayes, Luis Sojo, Mike Aldrete, and David Weathers. And yet he is being chastised by the owners of the Yankees, George Steinbrenner, for the trade that brought Graham Lloyd and Pat Listats that we talked about. And it's really one of the more ludicrous developments in postseason.
The Yankees have switched up. They had Weathers loosening earlier. They go to Jeff Nelson here with 2 out. The big right-hander who appeared in last night's game. Breaking ball is low to Javier Lopez. To some degree, a general manager is at the mercy of the team with which he is trading.
Right.
With what the Brewers send here, I would imagine Bob Watson was trusting enough to trust that the goods, so to speak, that he got were not damaged and were healthy. And that was not the case. The hearing for Graham Lloyd is October 28th, the Monday after the World Series. Bob Watson, Joe Torre, done a terrific job putting this Yankee team together, and here they are in the World Series. First time the Yankees have been here since 1981. They're doing something right.
Yeah, the very reason or the very fact that we're talking about the possibility of Bob Watson being fired over that trade after all the good things that he's done with the Yankees is ridiculous.
Javi Lopez chops to second. Jeff Nelson comes in, gets his man, and a scoreless 7th for Atlanta. Yankees back, bottom of the 7th. They trail by 4. Here at Yankee Stadium, we get into the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-0 Atlanta. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent. Heart of the order for the Yankees in the 7th inning, trailing by 4. Tino Martinez, Cecil Fielder, Paul O'Neill. A strike over the outside corner from Greg Maddux. Tino 0 for 2 and still waiting to pop one in the postseason. Way out in front for strike 2. Cecil on deck with a couple of ground outs. Martinez is grounded out twice. Paul O'Neill due up third in this inning has the Yankees' only extra base hit. Over the outside corner, one away, and the first strikeout of the night for Greg Maddux. Well, our Aflac trivia question was posed last inning. The only player with fewer than 100 career home runs who hit 6 home runs in the World Series.
I took the bait.
Old nails. Lenny Dykstra, 81 in his career, 6 in the World Series.
Thanks for the clue.
You're welcome.
I still didn't get it after the clue.
Here's Fielder 0 for 2. Shot a play for strike one. Tino Martinez was quick and easy work for Maddux here at the start of the 7th.
It is vintage Maddux. Fastball outside corner, change up, fouled off. Fastball outside corner. No chance for Martinez in that at bat.
Maddux is one of those pitchers that's a lot like your old teammate Steve Carlton. You go up there and you tell yourself, I'm going to take a pitch, and he throws it right down the middle. You tell yourself, I'm going to swing, and he throws it in the dirt. It's like he can read your mind out there on the mound.
One out, nobody on for Fielder.
He can chew you up and spit you out.
Keeping it away from Cecil, strike 2. Had a pretty good slider, didn't he?
Lefty? Yes.
To the right side and past McGriff. And Fielder is on with 1 out here in the 7th inning. That's Cecil's first World Series hit.
And you can see him reach out over the outside corner to drive this ball the opposite way. It's really the only way to attack Greg Maddux, and that doesn't even work all the time.
Told you Fox had all the tickets. There's David Faustino from Married with Children. What's your favorite show, Bob?
Well, I'm Married with Children.
1 on, 1 out, 4-0 Atlanta. Paul O'Neill trying to help the Yankees get something started. Strike 1 over the outside corner.
7 straight strikes from Maddux in this inning. 7.
3 in a row to Tino Martinez. Fielder gets the hit. And now strike 1 on O'Neill. Strike 2. Because it's Cecil Fielder at first and because of the score, you know he's not going to run. You say that because with the left-handed batter Paul O'Neill at the plate, the Braves have the luxury of playing McGriff behind the runner, and you don't sacrifice all that space on the right side of the infield to hold the runner on. O'Neill set up at 0-2. Had him reaching. Maddux starts it. 1-6. Not in time as the relay heads to first. And the only reason why there was a shot at a double play, and you can see why, as O'Neill comes limping back to first, and I'm sure he tried to push it on this ball back to Maddux.
Matter of fact, the only reason he had a shot at second base was because Cecil Fielder was running. Otherwise, Maddux takes the sure out at first base.
Well, if my math is correct, that's the 5th tapper hit back to the mound today. Greg Maddux really getting that sinker down in the zone, getting a lot of weak swings, a lot of weak taps back to the mound.
Now Mariano Duncan looks at a strike.
Well, you folks can count at home as you see Darryl Strawberry on deck. 10 straight strikes in this inning. It's really tiring, isn't he?
7th inning, he's allowed no runs on 5 hits. 1 on, 2 out. If Mariano Duncan can reach, the biggest at bat of the night will be forthcoming with Darryl Strawberry in the on-deck circle. 4-run game. But Duncan is set up at 0-2. How many is that in a row?
E11.
Stays 0-2.
You don't even need an umpire right now.
He's already bowled a perfect game in this inning. 12 straight strikes.
A one-out hit by Fielder. Then O'Neill had to hustle to avoid the double play. Bad hamstring and all. He's at first, 2 out. The 0-2 to Duncan. And there's the first one out of the strike zone for ball 1.
I'd take him out.
I think he's losing it.
Get rid of him. Let's go. Go to the bullpen. Trade him. Leo.
Leo can almost take a night off.
Man.
1-2 on Duncan. 1 on, 2 out. Got him to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning. His first 2 of the night, and after 7 at Yankee Stadium, game 2. Braves by 4. Conventional way, thanks to help from Maddox and McGriff. McGriff has driven home 3. Maddox, no runs on 5 hits through 7. Key, not bad, but matched up with Maddox. Braves 8 for 19 with runners in scoring position. Games 1 and 2. The Yankees 0 for 8. Jeff Nelson back to work, and Jermaine Dye at 2 hopper to Duncan. Backs up. 1 out. What a big weekend for Dallas Cowboys. Won't want to miss Fox NFL Sunday next week. It's noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Here's Andrew Jones. He's been quiet tonight. Was hit by a pitch in the 2nd. Grounded out in the 4th. Flying to the wall in center back in the 6th. Well, it is no treat for a right-handed hitter to face Jeff Nelson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Got that hard sinker from down underneath, and then he follows it up with this frisbee-like slider. Breaks all the way across the plate. Jones checks his swing.
1 ball, 1 strike. That's just nasty. Strike 2. I mean, how do you hit that?
Don't ask me. That's why I'm up here.
And when he drops down, that front side bails out of there. Got to tie your kangaroo down, sport, to hit that.
1-2. Now 2-2.
As a hitter, you're so trained to look above a pitcher's right shoulder or his left shoulder if he's a left-hander to pick up that ball, and that sidearm delivery from Nelson, it takes you 2 or 3 pitches before you even find the release point, and a lot of times by then you're out.
Now 1 down and in after pitch, low and away, and it's a full count, 3-2. Terry Pendleton next.
Got to throw him 1 more frisbee on the outside part of the plate.
See ya. There's your frisbee, and there's your strikeout. As Jeff Nelson carved up the rookie Andrew Jones.
Well, first time Andrew Jones has seen him. Good sinker right down the heart of the plate. There's that frisbee outside, a little further outside for a swinging strike. The check on another one. Now he sets up the last one. See you later.
Hitters refer to those sliders as the Australian sliders because they're from down under.
Andrew Jones, the at bat, the strikeout, and now Terry Pendleton. A little late getting to the batter's box.
Joe, I've always envied switch hitters in baseball because they never have to go through what young Andrew Jones just went through. Switch hitters never have to bail out. Everything's coming into that zone.
2 out, nobody on, and Pendleton, who picked up his first hit of the postseason, is 1 out of 10. with a double his last time up that went in and out of the glove of Derek Jeter and left. Behind on the count 0-1. That is foul.
To that same slider, you throw it to a right-hander and they bail out. What a blissful existence it would be from a hitter's standpoint not to have to bail out.
Pendleton waiting for an 0-2 pitch. Nelson has retired all 3 Atlanta hitters he's faced. Make it 4. Top of the 8th inning is history. Bottom of the 8th. It'll be Girardi, Jeter, and Range. Yankees bat. They're down by 4. 1. And it services here in game 2. Maddox back to work. 8th inning. 4-0 Atlanta. And Girardi grounds to second. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 8th inning. That one to second, but Maddox has been plenty busy with comebackers on the mound.
Well, to give you an indication, as you're going to see a package of them here, ground balls back to the mound, and none of them hit very hard. Maddox had 109 total chances on the season. Tom Glavine, who's also a ground ball pitcher, had 68. John Smoltz had 65. That's why Greg Maddox has won 7 Gold Gloves.
Maddox watching as yet another fan is loose on the field.
Another remarkable thing, and folks, this is a story. This guy's a story every time he pitches. Another remarkable thing tonight. The Yankees have 5 hits. Greg Maddox has recorded 22 outs so far. 1 out has been recorded in the outfield. Every other out has been a ground ball out. 21 of 22. Remarkable.
Here is Jeter, who tried to start a rally in the 6th inning with a base hit to right. He's followed by a hit to left by Range. Then a double play ball off the bat of Boggs, and Williams grounded out. Jeter looks at a strike. Hey, just a reminder, the 1996 True Value Roberto Clemente Man of the Year Award will be presented live here on Fox during Game 4 of the World Series. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 8th inning. 0-2 on Jeter.
I know you folks at home probably have your clicker going. That's 16 out of the last 17 strikes of the pitches that he has thrown. 4 outs, 16 out of 17, and Jeter's in the hole.
1 out, nobody on. The 0-2 from Maddox. And that's when you talk about, Tim, a pitch that's out of the strike zone for Maddox by design.
Exactly. He threw that pitch as a ball purposely.
Jeter wouldn't go after it. 1-2. Still 1-2. There's Judd Hirsch.
I got it.
Star of Taxi. Cast member in Independence Day. Right at Chipper Jones. 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. A lot of Yankee fans are stars, and they are out at the ballpark tonight, but nothing shaken so far for the Yankees with 2 out, nobody on here in the 8th inning. Maddox in control. By the way, the last World Series shutout was October 28th of last season's World Series, as Atlanta defeated Cleveland 1-0 in Game 6 behind Tom Glavine. The Yankee offense so far in the World Series against that good pitching, 1 run in just under 2 games. That shutout I was talking about was a combined shutout with Wohlers. The first combined one hitter in World Series play. That was last year. Glavine started that game, worked most of it. He was the World Series MVP. There's strike 2 on Raines. Inactive for the postseason. Raines wouldn't go after it. 1-2. Gooden, just another piece of this 1996 Yankee puzzle that's been so fun to track. A no-hitter earlier in the year against Seattle here at Yankee Stadium. Never threw one with the Mets, but he gets it in 1996 with the Yankees. Mets still waiting for their first no-hitter. Extra special for Gooden to get it here in New York. 2 out, nobody on. 1-2 to Raines. Up the middle, a base hit. And the 8th inning is still alive for New York.
Good at bat right there by Tim Raines. After the 0-2 pitch, he stepped out of the box and took a little bit of extra time. He adjusted his batting gloves. He walked around. He made Maddox wait out there on the mound. Maddox made one of the very few mistakes he's thrown in the ballgame tonight, and Tim Raines took advantage.
Mark Wohler's getting ready for Atlanta just in case. Getting ready here in the 8th inning with 1 on, 2 out, and Boggs at the plate. For the second baseman, Lemke. Boggs has a hit, but in the late innings is grounded into a double play in the 6th. Grounds out to end the 8th. Maddox through 8th. Braves out in front by 4. Well, I guess we got the Star Watch out tonight. Jimmy Smits, Dennis Franz, the real NYPD Blue. They have done a terrific job already in this series. Speaking of terrific jobs, how about the work in 1996 put out by Mariano Rivera?
Well, you can't argue with those numbers. You will get an argument, however. Some people think Mariano Rivera should be considered for the Cy Young Award in the American League because of his value to the Yankees and his dominance. But that will start some arguments in your local pub.
Ridiculous that he was left off the All-Star team in my estimation.
Had he made the All-Star team, he would have been the first middle reliever ever to make any All-Star team.
Facing Luis Polonia, leading it off here in the top of the 9th inning. Pinch hitting for Blauser as he did here last night. The former Yankee struck out. – 2-0. Mariano Rivera, one of the most valuable players for Joe Torre in 1996. Offensively, you immediately look to a guy like Bernie Williams, what he was able to accomplish. Andy Pettitte, outstanding in the starting rotation. Wetland anchoring that bullpen, and Mariano Rivera setting him up.
Derek Jeter, certainly because of the position he plays, having the year that he has had.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Polonia. Off the hands to second for Duncan. 1 away. Well, the senior coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox and the producer of today's game is John Filippelli. Today's game was directed by Bill Webb. Videotape producers are Carol Langley and Lance Garrett. The associate director is Kathy Hunt. Pre-game producer is David Banks, directed by Jim Lynch. The executive producers of Fox Sports are David Hill and Ed Gorin. Special thanks to Steve Horn, Barry Landis, Jordy Wimmer, and everyone who has helped bring you the first 2 games of the 1996 World Series from New York, as this series now will head back to Atlanta.
Even Snoopy.
Even Snoopy.
Yeah.
The MetLife blimp.
Right.
Thank you. Tomorrow, the New York Yankees travel to Atlanta. Battle the Atlanta Braves in a World Series showdown, Game 3. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on Fox. Very good pitching matchup with David Cone and Tom Glavine. Glavine, last year's World Series MVP. Here's Grissom facing Mariano Rivera for the first time and taking strike one.
You know, getting back to Rivera's snub in the All-Star game, I think we're getting very near the time where guys like Rivera will be recognized and will go to All-Star games. It wasn't so long ago that closers weren't even picked to go to the All-Star game. It was all starting pitchers. Now you see a share of closers go, and as this role becomes more and more important to managers, eventually they'll get their shot to go to the All-Star game.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't too long ago until closers got their share of fame for the Hall of Fame. Guys like Raleigh Fingers.
It's out of play. There are quite a few closers whose careers are ending who will be definite Hall of Famers. Mariano Rivera, American League ranking among relief pitchers, first in strikeouts, first in wins, right through it, and Grissom strikes out for the second out here in the ninth. I've talked about it so many times where the save may be recorded on paper in the ninth inning, but how many times does a ball game come down to what happens in the seventh or the eighth innings? And it's Mariano Rivera out there shutting the door like he did in the ALCS series in Baltimore when he loaded the bases and then struck out Hoyles, Brady Anderson, and got Zeal on the pop-up to preserve a Yankee win. The next day the Yankees clinched it. Up and in on Lemke, and a 1-ball 1-strike count, and maybe a little message to Mark. 94 miles per hour from Rivera.
One of the reasons for his effectiveness is you can't pick him up, and it's a good thing Mark Lemke picks up this high fastball.
It's a good thing Mark Lemke's not one of those hitters who dives in towards home plate, where they may be bringing a stretcher out there right now.
1-ball 1-strike, 2 out, nobody on. Another high fastball. It's 2-1.
They're talking about the setup guy. I think Greg McMichael, the setup guy for the Braves, put it best. He said it's like football. We're the offensive linemen. We don't get to run into the end zone and spike the ball. But if we don't do our job, the running back doesn't get to go in there and do his little dance.
McMichael does it for Atlanta, the exact opposite fashion of Mariano Rivera for the Yankees. Rivera all hard stuff. McMichael a changeup artist. Jeter flashes in, makes the play in a 1-2-3 ninth inning for Rivera. Mark Wohlers looks like he's coming in. He'll pitch the ninth. Bottom half, 4-0 Atlanta. With Mark Wohlers, who has had 6 straight postseason saves. However, this would not be a save situation. Interesting, Bob, that Bobby Cox would bring Wohlers in. Maybe not so interesting with that end of it, but that he would take Maddox out.
Well, it's hard to argue with Bobby Cox's success he's had handling this pitching staff this year, but Mark Wohlers has not pitched for a couple of days. He's a very valuable part of that bullpen. They're going to need him somewhere in this World Series, so Bobby Cox seizes an opportunity to get him out there and get an inning of work in a situation that he will be used in before this series is all over.
Two teams have won the series after losing the first 2 home games. Kansas City in '85 over the Cardinals, and the Mets over Boston in '86. Bernie Williams, strike 1 from Wohlers. So Maddox goes 8 innings, allows no runs on 6 hits, walked none, struck out 2, and hit a batter. Right guys coming up for the Yankees here in the 9th inning. That's strike 2.
Once again, the final totals for Maddox also of 24 outs recorded, 21 on the ground, 1 in the air, and 2 strikeouts. Williams, Martinez, and Fielder.
with the Yankees trailing by 4 in the ninth. One and two.
There's a split finger fastball there from Mark Wohlers. It was harder than most guys' fastball. 89 miles an hour on an off-speed pitch.
Still paying attention to the left wrist area. Derek Jeter, who was hit by Maddox back in the third, appears to be all right. Bernie Williams leading off. Struck him out. The splitter again, and Wohlers makes quick and easy work of Williams, who is now 0 for 7 in the World Series.
Hitters have to probably make the biggest adjustment against Mark Wohlers than any pitcher in the National League. He throws a 98 to 100 mile an hour fastball and a 78 mile an hour splitter, anywhere from 78 to 88.
Now it's Tino Martinez. 0 for 3. I know people get tired of hearing about this Atlanta pitching. You're not a Braves fan, but the team, the pitching staff, will have allowed 2 runs in their last 5 postseason games if they can hang on to this shutout. 1-0 the count. 14-0 in a win in Game 5 in the LCS over St. Louis from Smoltz. 3-1 from Maddox in Game 6. 15-0 behind Glavine in Game 7. Last night Smoltz 12-1 win. Tonight 4-0 behind Greg Maddox.
Martinez taking here, I would think.
3-0.
Say what I'd like to see is a game of burnout between Mariano Rivera and Mark Wohlers.
Yeah.
Game you used to play when you were a kid to try to force your opponent to give up.
How hard can you throw? 98 miles per hour. 3-1. Mariano Rivera was hitting mid-90s during the top of this 9th inning. One out, nobody on. Borderline pitch. Crowd didn't like the call, and it's 3-2 now on Martinez. Pretty good heat there. Tua, back-to-back strikeouts to start the 9th inning. That borderline 3-1 pitch to the 3-2 strikeout, and with 2 out, nobody on, it's up to Cecil Fielder to keep this game alive.
Not only do you have to make an adjustment as a hitter facing a guy like Mark Wohlers, but as a catcher, facing Greg Maddox, who is not overpowering with his velocity, moving the ball around a lot. All of a sudden you're facing Mark Wohlers, or catching Mark Wohlers rather, who's rushing that ball up there upwards to 100 miles an hour.
Another fan gets loose on the field, which gives enough time to paint the picture for the Yankees, which is a grim one. They head back to Atlanta down 2-0. They will be forced to win 2 games just to get the series back to Yankee Stadium. And their hopes will rest on the right shoulder of David Cone in Game 3. They'll be matched up with Tom Glavine tomorrow night right here on Fox.
And for those of you folks who may not know the saga of Joe Torre this year, his brother Rocco died in mid-June. And his other brother Frank Torre, who is hanging on our every word and our every picture of his baby brother, is awaiting a heart transplant. Matter of fact, we talked to Frank today. He called while we were in Joe's office. Joe talks to him several times a day. Frank, a great first baseman for the Milwaukee Braves back in the late 50s, played in the series in 1957 and 58.
That ran in the Torrey jeans. Great hands.
Right.
Whether it's Frank Torrey or it's his brother Joe, and those great hands allowed Joe as a player to move around, catch, play third base, first base. One 1-0 the count on Fielder. Right through it. 1-1. Frank's hanging on our every word. He's back there second guessing us, and Joe will tell you he's back there second guessing Joe.
Of course.
2 out, nobody on. 1-1 on Fielder. Strike 2. And the Yankees are down to their final strike in game 2.
Well, this didn't figure to be a good matchup for Cecil Fielder. The high gas, a pitch he has trouble with. Wohler's throwing that fastball up around the belt and above.
Bases empty behind Wohlers. Into right center field, and the game continues. Fielder a 2 out of 4 night. A hit in the 7th with 1 out, a hit in the 9th with 2 out. The game continues for Paul O'Neill. O'Neill 1 out of 3, a double his first time up. Gonna have a pinch runner. Andy Fox will come in and run for Cecil Fielder.
And you might be asking, why pinch run when you're 4 runs down and you only have 1 runner on? Well, it could be a very close play at second base on a force play. This is a no-lose situation for Joe Torre and the Yankees. They're hoping to load him up, possibly for Darryl Strawberry to pinch hit for Joe Girardi. That's what Joe Torre's thinking right now, at least.
Strawberry started last night. Has a broken toe. Sat out tonight's game so far. Ball 1 to O'Neill. O'Neill's double back in the 2nd inning. The only extra base hit tonight for New York. Fox will take second as they just hand it to him. No stolen base and a 1-1 count on O'Neill. Now a base hit could break up the shutout. One and 1 from Wohlers. And again, the Yankees are down to their final strike. This series heads back to Atlanta for game 3 tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, right here on Fox. David Cone for the Yankees and Tom Glavine for Atlanta. Runner at second, 2 out, 4-0 Braves, 9th inning. And the 1-2 to O'Neill. Game over. Got him with a splitter, and Wohlers strikes out the side in the 9th inning. And the Braves wrap up game 2 after a 12-1 win last night. Game number 2 belongs to Atlanta behind Maddox and Wohlers, 4-0.